special bulletin. America is now under martial law. All constitutional rights have been suspended. Stay in your homes. Do not attempt to contact loved ones, insurance agents, or attorneys. Shut up. Do not attempt to think or depression may occur. Stay in your home. Curfew is at 7 p.m. sharp after work. Anyone caught outside the gates of their subdivision sectors after curfew will be shot. Remain calm. Do not panic. Your neighborhood watch officer will be by to collect urine samples in the morning. Anyone caught interfering with the collection of urine samples will be shot. Stay in your home. Remain calm. The #1 enemy of progress is questions. National security is more important than individual will. All sports broadcasts will proceed as normal. No more than 2 people may gather anywhere without permission. Use only the drugs prescribed by your boss or supervisor. Shut up! Be happy. Obey all orders without question. The comfort you've demanded is now mandatory. Be happy. At last, everything is done for you.
All right. You can do it too.
No.
Do it too.
No.
Do it too.
There it is. And we're live.
Welcome to Truthzilla bonus episode, week number 25. Holy
Holy
crap,
shit.
man! Wow,
Yeah.
we're up in the numbers. I like
Yeah.
it. That's a quarter of 100.
It's a quarter of 100. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
quarter of
It's
100.
a half a year.
So
Next 26 will be half a year.
All right. So next week, then it's balloons and cake in here because that's a half a year we've been doing this.
The truth cake.
shit.
Truth
It's
cake.
we're gonna
That's
have a
half
truth cake.
year. Truth
Okay.
cake.
Fuck
Truth
yes.
cake.
Truth cake
Truth
party.
cake. Truth party. You guys can have your cake as well and
Yeah,
eat it.
we're gonna have a truth cake, and I'm gonna say "dude" through the whole episode.
dude. I think it was
Dude,
me,
I think you
Scott.
should, dude.
I think it was me, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's me, dude. No, I'm
Whatever,
pretty sure.
dude.
But yeah.
Whatever.
Couple
dude.
of cool dudes.
Yeah, a couple of
Yeah,
dudes.
so-
Anyway, guys, I love you. I'm gonna work on it.
Anyways, so man, we're gonna
Yeah.
talk. We're gonna get into a little bit of some of this stuff. I think we have to, we did a little talk right after the election
Yeah.
on some of the stuff, but I think at this point, some of the dust is settled, and we can talk a little bit about all of the claims of fraud and the
Malarkey.
things. Yeah, the things that we've seen. So, but before we do that, Scott, listen, there is a little bit of a letter that was written
Yeah,
to
so
President
here's the
Donald
thing.
Trump.
Here's the thing.
So
We just had a great discussion with our friend Sean from the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast. That'll be out on Sunday, guys. So check that out. And we kind of where we left off in that conversation, that just kind of like, yeah, it got me riled up. It's like, okay, so we see what's coming. We see what's on the horizon. We see that there's this evil imposition being imposed on all of us. We see the dark forces coming. They are coming. And it's getting to this point where we, in the very near future, may have to potentially be in a situation where we are going to have to die for this cause, right? Yeah. And I've fully resolved
That cause being our freedom and our sovereignty and that of our children.
100%. Yes, in order to ensure a better future for our kids, the next generation. Like this is the fight that I'm in, and this is the fight that I have decided to dedicate my life to.
I want to take 1 second. I know to stop you. None of us are suicidal.
No, not suicidal. Yes,
Not suicidal.
yes, not suicidal at all, ever, at any point. But here's the thing: is that so I'm of this place. I'm in this headspace. I'm in this spiritual place where I'm ready to die for it all, man. And it's so frustrating. And then I go around and I see all these people that are just still wearing the mask and just watching CNN all day long, completely oblivious to it because they choose to be oblivious to it. And it's like, how do we exist in the same reality? How do we exist in the same reality where I literally resolved myself to fight for the death of this thing that you are so fighting so hard to perpetuate? And it's so maddening. It's so frustrating. And that's where the frustration lies. And so as far as this letter goes, I heard this earlier, the X-22 report. It is what it is. I'm not a Q guy, but I think there's some good information there. So there was this open letter written to President Donald Trump by the Archbishop oh gosh, dang it, Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, right? And so he's pretty high up in the Vatican. He served in a bunch of different roles, he high up in the Catholic Church, and he wrote this open letter to President Donald Trump, and it's a pretty long letter. You guys should check it out. But Ed's going to read just a chunk out of the middle of the letter here. And this kind of breaks it all down into a nutshell. So all these people that are out there refusing to take a look at it, like you can just read these 2 paragraphs right here and it breaks it all down.
Yeah. So a global plan called the Great Reset is underway. Its architect is a global elite that wants to subdue all of humanity, imposing coercive measures with which to drastically limit individual freedoms and those of entire populations. In several nations, this plan has already been approved and financed. In others, it is still in an early stage. Behind the world leaders who are the accomplices and executors of this infernal project, there are unscrupulous characters who finance the World Economic Forum and Event 201, promoting their agenda. The purpose of the Great Reset is the imposition of a health dictatorship aiming at the imposition of liberticidal measures.
Liberticidal as in like killing your liberties, right? Yeah.
Hidden behind tempting promises of ensuring a universal income and canceling individual debt. The price of these concessions from the International Monetary Fund will be the renunciation of private property and adherence to a program of vaccination against COVID-19 and COVID-21 promoted by Bill Gates with the collaboration of the main pharmaceutical groups. Beyond the enormous economic interests that motivate the promoters of the Great Reset, the imposition of the vaccination will be accompanied by the requirement of a health passport and a digital ID, with the consequent contact tracing of the population of the entire world. Those who do not accept these measures will be confined in detention camps or placed under house arrest until all their assets will be confiscated.
There it is, right there. So that's the whole agenda in a nutshell, baby. And so if you still think that this virus or the response to this virus has, if you think that this lockdown, if you think that any of this has to do with a virus, you need to wake up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wake up now.
You've said it so many times. I'm surprised you got tripped up on your words on that one.
I know. That's what my catchphrase. Dude, oh my God.
Jeez.
I want to go.
Yeah. But,
it's so maddening, people.
Seriously,
it's so
but I have to say though, like on that note, I have had a couple of interesting interactions where I've seen like how these other people believe, and I still have some empathy because I have people that are really dear to me that I love that like really don't see this thing. One of my he's my closest friends for so long. He posted like after the media pronouncing Biden as the president, because that's what the media does, that he was like, finally,
Projected winner.
Yeah, finally I can go to work and feel like I'm not going to die. And he was literally wearing a face mask with a shield over the top of it in the picture. Like literally, but like he is a genuinely good dude. I'm like not like but he like if everything comes from CNN and all these sources,
Dr. Tom
related,
Frieden on Twitter, that motherfucker.
If you believe Fauci,
Rapist.
whatever he's saying
Rapist.
today, as opposed to what he said a few days ago that disagrees with what he said today, you would be stuck in this conundrum, right?
Yeah.
Like I see it. I also have someone who I really love and respect also that she's a nurse in our community, and she posted on Facebook that I regret to tell everybody that me and my husband got COVID-19, and we've been locked down for 7 days. And each day I think it's going to be the day that the fevers break, and it's going to be the turning point.
God!
But I am grateful that I think we had a mild case.
It's all a mild
That we
case.
had a mild case.
It's all a mild
you
case.
You got sick
it's
and
the common fucking cold.
And they amped up your PCR test over above 45 cycles.
Well, that's
Is
as Jess said. Why is anybody still getting tested? And especially like if I have a fever, I'm going to stay home with my fucking fever until I get better. Like, why is anybody getting tested? I don't understand why anybody.
Why are you getting tested?
Nobody
Please.
should be getting tested, especially
You should
with this
be
PCR
shaming.
test.
You should be
ashamed of yourself.
You should be shaming. We need to be shaming people that go and get tested.
dude, that's
be like,
it.
Wow, you're that stupid. I read a really good quote. Okay, it was in a meme, but like I copied it down to read it. So this is a man named Jason Christoff. You know, I guess he's a like motivational speaker, all this and that. Anyway, it says, and this breaks it all down for you guys. Look into this for yourself. But here you go. The RT-PCR test being used for COVID involves a cycling function.
Yes.
The more you cycle the test material in the lab, the more people test positive for COVID. If you cycle the test material 60 times, every sample tests positive for COVID. If you cycle it 10 times, no one tests positive for COVID. If you cycle it 30 times, some test positive and some don't. This means all our corrupt governments have full control over how many people test positive depending on how many times they insist the test material be cycled. They pick this test purposefully so they can upregulate or downregulate the pandemic at will.
And I don't want to spend the whole time on this PCR test. What I would recommend people is, first of all, I think No Agenda was the first podcast to
buddy.
really break this and just like figure out the scam that is the PCR test. Dean did an episode on it.
Yeah.
They touched
Not to
on the
mention
high
patents
wire.
on it,
Up is
not
Down
to mention
podcast.
it.
But also the creator of the PCR test.
Carey Mullis, K-A-R-Y
And
M-U-L-L-S.
there's a lot more to that story. Dr. Tom Cowan got into it on the most recent episode of What They're Not Telling You with Melissa Floyd.
Shout out.
Which I feel like I've been digging this. Like the reality is, and I think we can just all sit here and say very confidently at this point, COVID has been debunked.
COVID has been debunked.
The
COVID
PCR
has been
test is a scam.
debunked.
This
COVID
whole
has
entire
been
thing is a scam. We've kind of gone back and forth, like what's real, what's not. I mean,
Well, at
I'm
the end of the
listening
day,
to,
it's a mask for the reset.
yeah.
That's all
and
it is.
I'm looking at. I've been listening to the Tom Cowan, who's someone I've always liked him whenever I've heard him, but I'm doubting virus theory as a whole. The viruses are even a transferable thing that infect from one person to another. I think that the whole science behind this is flawed. But that's not my point. Is just to kind of come back full circle to like these people that said we got COVID and they were serious. I almost have to talk I have to talk in the voice where I'm taking COVID seriously and I'm sick. Like the
They're
fake
serious.
voice,
They're
like
serious
right.
COVID.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's what I really believe is if you believe in COVID, you might get COVID. But if you've looked at what we've seen and seen that COVID's debunked, no one I know is getting COVID.
Nobody
I went
has
to
it.
a meeting with 30 people that didn't have masks last night, and you know what? No one was worried about COVID, and no one got COVID. I guarantee it.
Well, there's apparently tens of thousands of people that have it, which means that they went totally well and feeling well and nothing's wrong with them. And they went and had them stick the pretend test up their nose. And then those results came back positive. Go figure.
Oh, yeah. Well,
They
Craig,
could turn it
our-
up
our
to
buddy-
make them sick.
And so all of
Yeah.
these people are sick with COVID. No, they're fucking not.
Yeah, our friend Craig, shout out to Craig. You know who you are. I've been watching. He said
Hi, Craig.
Hi, Craig.
Like they were doing they've got all these massive tests, and Inslee's going to come out tomorrow and then make a big announcement. Probably more lockdowns. Which, if you notice, like New York,
governments been doing
yep,
it.
they're all coordinated. Like New York, California, Washington,
Well,
and
our
I'm sure
governor
Oregon.
just
Yep,
has
she
already
announced.
started.
Yep, 5-county, lockdown, and it's like they're all coordinated in their lockdown announcements, right? And Craig pointed out, and it just happened to be a couple weeks after they did this mass testing, thing at the freaking Tacoma Dome, and it's like, imagine that. Okay, so now it's
And
like
right before people are
Yeah.
supposed to gather
Yeah.
together in groups with
Yeah,
their
yeah.
families for a huge holiday where people are connected.
And they're going door to door in our city right now. Like, I mean, and this
That's
is
probably a
happening
mistake for them
across
to come to
the
mind.
country.
Tell me about that. Hold on. I heard you guys talk about that, but I was doing other
There's
things.
a team of people. You remember when they were hiring for this? If you want to be a contact tracer or whatever, and you can go, they're literally sending people, and they're through the university. I think
my God.
they've hired these people, and they have a team, and they're going door to door, and they're asking people. They're giving them free tests, so you can get tested for free, so you can be a part of. Essentially,
Why would you want to do that? Why? I want one person
because
who's done
if
it
you
willingly.
believe in COVID, COVID is real.
But even if
you believe in the boogeyman-
if you believe in it, then you would be afraid of it, right? Why would you ever want to fucking feed into that? Like, wouldn't you want to most people wouldn't you be like, okay, like if I'm sick, maybe I'm not like when I'm sick, I'm like, it's not that bad. I'm just gonna wait for a minute. I'm just gonna wait and see. I probably don't need to go to the doctor. This fever's gonna break on its own. Yeah, I've been vomiting a couple days. It's gonna be fine. Like, Isn't that the protocol that human beings do when they get ill because human beings get ill?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what the push is.
Well, there's another part of this thing that I was talking to Scott earlier about too, is that, a lot of these people, they have become so dependent on that system that they don't know how to like treat their own health. A lot of these people are I don't want to talk too much crap, but they're like overweight. They don't eat well. They don't take care of themselves. So they've become dependent on the system to tell them when and what to do. You know? Like I really, so if the test is coming around, well, the test is going to save us, right? If the vaccine comes around, the vaccine is going to save us.
It should scare everybody that they're sending unqualified, probably college kids, around with their fucking face shields on to have you stick shit up, down, inside your nose, back up to your brain, so they can let you know with their pretend test that you tested positive or something that you're not even fucking sick for. Yeah. And if you are sick with it, shame the fuck on you. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Yeah. Suck up your common cold because you're enslaving the whole fucking population, you pieces of garbage. I'm so sick of it. If anybody comes to your house and they ask to test you or to
my house,
I hope that you rise the fuck up and send them running. I cannot even believe that this is happening in America.
They will get an earful.
They will get an
earful.
They will
Any one of our houses, we dare you. We dare you.
Yeah, I fucking wish you would come over. Now I wish you would.
I want to point you guys really quick to a really good podcast I listened to specifically on this. It's Maestro on the Mic podcast, episode 264 with Dr. Tina Moore. It was a really good one, man. And she talks about how like literally really the people that have the really adverse effects and the people that are dying from this, it's like you do have lots of comorbidities, and they're all overweight almost exclusively. Like, so she's a doctor that's talked with her colleagues, and they said exclusively, without exception, 100%, people that die from this are overweight. And
well, they didn't, and they probably didn't die from this. They were dying from something else, and this was a more compromised. So now this would be,
if nothing else, this would be a great time to start taking care of your own personal health, man. Like,
well, hell no, they want to have McDonald's, Scott. They're not going to do that.
Drastic measures to just ensure my personal health, dude. Like very drastic measures, and it's just like I'm not fucking around anymore. You know what I mean? But they will not tell you that. They will not tell you that. Like, can you imagine? Like, if in fact, they were banning people. I heard they were raiding doctors' offices for talking about how vitamin C is a good treatment just to prevent COVID-19, and that goes against and they say that's bad medical advice, and they were like, SWAT teaming doctors' offices over this stuff.
I mean, but this is just
so do what to look for other. What are they SWAT teaming?
Just because if you're speaking out against like the World Health Organization, their protocol for dealing with this is big pharma. You have to have big pharma come to your rescue. And if you're saying anything divergent other than that, you will get wiped off the internet. You'll be canceled, and your doctor's out. You'll be shut down. You'll lose your license. Like, it's really crazy.
But this agenda has been going on longer before COVID.
Oh yeah,
they've been trying to shut down vitamin C. I mean, Operation Quack Hack was a thing before COVID, right? Like it's this stuff's been going on. I will say just one more thing on the PCR test. Just one thing. If you're still questioning, you're on the fence. You can find a video chat of Dr. Fauci talking about the number of cycles when you cycle through this PCR test or amplification. Really is what it is. Where it becomes, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't tell you anything about the actual level of the virality of the disease. I don't know if that'd be the correct word, but you can't spread it, and it won't make you. You're not actually sick. And he said at anything 35 and over. And if you look, like I think it was actually the New York Times that went around and checked a lot of where these labs are checking how many cycles they're running, and most of them are at like 40 plus.
So that New York Times is the one that
cycles. So according to Anthony Fauci, then their tests mean nothing.
Yeah, and even the New York Times is the one that broke the whole story about how 90% of these COVID tests are false positives due to this whole the gameability and the way you can manipulate the PCR process. Like, it's just insane. Absolutely insane, folks. Don't get tested. Well, shame people that do.
Nobody's sick and nobody's fucking dying. I would be really, really surprised to see one person who's listening to this to reach out to us and tell us they know someone who's super, super sick with it, and if they are, too fucking bad, because we all get sick. I've been really sick before.
You get sick. It's all good.
Too bad.
And in your mind, when you are sick, and I apologize because that's part of the psychological warfare that's being waged against us, is because if you do get sick and you do get a fever, oh my God, I would be scared too. I would be terrified. I'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to die. and it's going to amplify it in your own head, and you're going to magnify the
Well, your
symptoms,
thoughts are
and it's
powerful.
going to be way more like you're going to think, oh, this is way more. I'm way more sick now than the last time I had the flu or this and that. Like it's the psychological part of it, you know.
It is.
And I'm sorry for people that are getting sick, and I'm sorry that you're being lied to and deceived. It's so.
But you're getting sick with a cold.
Yeah, you get
you're
a
getting
cold, you
sick
get
with
a
the
flu,
flu. Listen,
you know?
how most of you listening to this have been around for at least 18 years on the planet. You know what it's like to get sick, so suck it up.
yeah.
Suck it up because we're
Yeah.
losing our fucking
And
sovereignty.
the fever is actually helping you. Let's just be honest.
yeah.
For real, what's up with
Yeah,
people
fever-
say, "Oh, my
the fever
fever,
is-
blah
is-
blah blah"? That's your
is-
immune system killing it.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing too. Is like just today, I think, or maybe yesterday. What is the Pfizer vaccine? They release all the articles about how the Pfizer. It's great news, everybody. Pfizer vaccine has a 90% effectiveness against COVID-19.
How do they know that in 8
And that's the
months?
thing. That's the thing. But I got one better for you. You know what has a 99.9% effectiveness against COVID-19? Your motherfucking immune system.
Immune system.
How
that's
about
it.
that?
How
And it
about
doesn't
it?
have any side effects either.
Your
Yeah.
immune system
Yeah.
doesn't have side effects. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
You can't
true.
outsource your health. You can't outsource
And
your thinking.
there's no and
You
that
can't
claim
inject
of
health.
90%
Can't inject health.
is we all know that's bullshit.
And it's all
anyways.
bullshit. Yes,
Because
what 50%?
that means you created antibodies in 90% of cases. Well, how many antibodies does it take? And does antibody? I mean, there's T cell immunity. There's so many things that they don't even understand about the immune system because our immune systems are better than any of these fucking doctors.
Yes.
Is the reality.
Yes.
So time to take care of your own personal health. So
Yeah.
anyway, on that note,
So let's circle back to
Yeah.
like this crazy ass election.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, so man, God, you guys, like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah, Megan's stabbing her eyes out for those of you that are listening on the audio version, but
Just to distract myself from the pain.
yeah,
So
just to
I would
distract
would say that all of us have probably looked into so many counts of voter fraud that like, and I will admit, like I'll be the first one to admit that like some of them don't seem that credible to me, but it's the overwhelming amount of it that's like some of it's definitely real.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if in this state this thing that happened is enough to have swayed this or that, but there are certainly states where things happened where there was such discrepancy, and statisticians have gotten in on this,
Yeah.
and they've looked at it and they said, well, this is actually statistically impossible.
It is.
Yeah, there's like a law of that I heard that if you even mention the name of the law, you'll get pulled off of social media and you'll get pulled off of YouTube for even mentioning the name of this law.
That
But
should
it's-
be the name of our episode then.
Definitely.
But it's and I can't remember off the top of my head. It starts with a B.
What do you mean you
everybody.
can't remember off the top? You can't say
starts with a
something.
B.
Look it up.
Starts
What
with
do
a
you
B.
mean?
Like Benson's Law, I think, or something like
Why
that.
are you whispering?
And so anyway, what it is that it predicts like certain like things like this, and it's statistically impossible for this thing to happen. But also statistically impossible is, you notice how everybody like goes to bed like on election night, and Trump's all up in all these states, and then like you wake up the next morning, all of a sudden the whole
And
thing's flipped.
Well, like hundreds
So
of
first of all-
thousands of ballots came in and not correct
Well, first of all-
boxes, not in their envelopes.
First of all, they said, "Oh, we're going to stop counting," and then all of a sudden, like the next morning, you go like, "Oh, they resumed counting at 4
Well,
a.m."
I think they
and
meant
then
they're
the
going
whole
to
thing
stop
switched.
counting Trump votes.
and hundreds of
Yeah,
thousands of votes came in overnight.
100% of them all for Biden.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Okay.
math. That's
That's
mathematically
the
makes
mathematically
sense.
impossible.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
then it happened again, like I think Saturday. Woke up and all of a sudden, all these like swing states were all of a sudden, oh, they're all Biden. Oh, okay, so this is happening in the dark of night, right?
Well, you notice they're going back to gray now.
Yeah, they're going back to gray.
Maybe
Even-
because I hope somebody's going to fucking prison.
Yeah.
Attorney General,
Yeah.
who is it? The one in Pennsylvania. He needs to be arrested.
Yeah.
Who was it? The Owen Schroyer was
Owen
talking
Schroyer,
about.
dude, going hard. So
By
they're-
the way, Owen
Yeah.
Schroyer,
Yeah.
he's kind of my new little hero.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
a badass.
I told you, dude.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that guy.
Yeah.
So
There's a whole YouTube channel of him going around like.
Yeah, he's great.
owning
I loved
frickin',
it.
Like he
Yeah,
goes
he's-
like.
you just gotta
He's
find
hilarious.
him and
Like going to all these liberal rallies, dude, and just like with a microphone and then with the InfoWars tank and just like putting them on blast, dude. It's hilarious.
He's like got the most innocent, sweet little fiery spirit just in his eyes. He's just so pure, but he's just like, just fuck with me because I'm gonna win you with the truth. And
get
just walks
you.
around with his horn and his
Megaphone.
armored vehicle.
Yeah.
But what one did we watch where he was like at that rally and he was in the little
Oh, the little gazebo.
The
yeah,
little
yeah.
gazebo
Yeah, well,
and-
there's a bunch of Marxists were setting up for like this.
A Trump rally or something?
No,
It was like
they're-
it was like women's rights or something.
well,
like
it's something.
That.
Well, I think what it was is it was like a pro-Trump rally or something like that.
And it was
they,
like
they
a
were showing up.
women's-
They're going to do like a sit-in.
Yeah,
They were going to do like a
yeah,
sit-in to kind of
sure.
disrupt it. And they brought
And
a
they're
PA
fuck-
system, and he walks up and he's like, "Hey, can I use your guys' PA system?" And they're like, "No." No.
Like, why not?
And he's
I
like,
thought-
"What? I thought we were Marxists here. I thought we just use each other's stuff. Come on, what's going on?" Like, it's hilarious, dude. Like,
But yeah,
owning them, dude.
so find Find Owen
Oh,
Schroyer.
yeah, and then goes to a women's march and talking about Jeffrey Epstein trafficking women, but none of them wanted to hear that. They did not want to hear that. It was like he exposed it for just literally being an anti-Trump march. He's like, well, why can't we talk about the mainstream media covering up Epstein trafficking women? I feel like that's something that the women's march should be all about, right? Yeah. And then like, why is mainstream media covering up Jeffrey Epstein and covering up the Clinton crimes and all this stuff?
And they just wouldn't talk to him.
They were not having it.
Because who was it? He was talking to the one guy. We watched one where he was talking to one guy. He was like amped up on something. Remember, it was like in his face. He was like sputtering and spitting. He's like, "Doesn't matter what I do for a living. I'm a Marxist." And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!"
That guy was crazy.
Off to another nation for you where they like that shit. Bye.
Anyway, so but the whole thing is just a bunch of fuddy-duddy, man. But at the same time, I see a very clear picture too of maybe this is all going according to plan. Did we even talk about this on the episode? I've been talking about it with a lot of other people. I don't know, but here's what I see.
We've talked about it before. I think we maybe talked with the Grimerica guys too. But
okay, that's it. Yeah.
But I do think, I mean, before we get to like jump to that, I think that there is enough there to say that there was, I mean, we can rest assuredly say that there was fraud that happened.
Yeah.
Which exact states was it for real and which states not? And I find that, like, I've watched just videos and videos and videos, like all kinds of fraud stuff. And there's a lot of them that like aren't very conclusive. And it almost feels like they put so much out there on purpose to like try to make it all look like it's not real.
I think that's what they did with was it Wayfair where they said they were shipping kids in containers? Remember where they put out the false trafficking stuff to detract from the
sure. Yeah, it's just there's like red herrings out there, but you have like, was it Wisconsin where this increase in the amount of voters was just so unrealistic that that
more people voting than are registered to vote.
We've seen that.
Or like
more dead people voting,
more mail-in ballots coming back that were actually. It's true. You're
they said
right.
That apparently the little tracking chip that they implant animals with has like a 9-10 digit social security. Like it's like the same format as like a social security number.
That's not on purpose.
So they're sending ballots to people's animals, and of course they're gonna.
I wonder who my dog voted for.
I feel like that one's like a red herring though, because that was like maybe an individual story.
Yeah, one person.
Because that's like one vote, right? So it's like
Biden.
they're like see the rights just they're just talking about these things that really don't matter.
Well, what does matter is the fact that they wouldn't let there be transparent people watching.
Sure, there are many,
they're boarding up the fucking windows right there. I don't care what
Yeah.
else happened anywhere else in the country. That right there alone tells me that this election has been defrauded. It has been defrauded by the left.
Maybe that was a fake video.
And after the
several
election
videos
was
of that.
defrauded, the 70 million really, really upset patriots who actually care about this country and our freedom and our sovereignty didn't burn the fucking place down. So that's another little point of interest. But I wonder though, and I still think this is going to swing I think at this point it's going to have to swing for Trump. It's going to have to. And they're going to use that as an excuse to have Antifa come in and burn the fucking country down.
Yeah.
They will use that as the excuse to have martial law. And that's where the UN will come.
Oh, yeah.
I still think that Trump is the best the best option to separate. Like we talk about, like it's not about like all of his ideals and all of his everything. It's about which one of them was about ready to sell us off to fascism. That's it. At the end of the day,
which one isn't going to grab us out of our houses and jam needles in our arms.
But
it's about which one of them is going to open up our country.
Yeah, but even on Twitter, like Trump is just, even the last few days, he's like, "Oh, we got this vaccine coming. You need to shut the fuck up about the vaccine and start making some moves, dude." Like, shut these fucking big tech people down,
Well, at
dude.
this point, he has nothing to lose.
What
He's
are
not
you
going to run
doing?
again. Whether he gets in office or not, he's done running again.
Quit playing politics.
So
and kick
pull
these
the
people in
fucking
balls,
emergency
dude.
order and turn the country back on. This isn't that hard. We pardon Assange. We take marijuana off Schedule 1. We open the country. We start going after all of these governors who are so completely they're listen, these are crimes against humanity. And in a real world, when you have traitors against a country, that's punishable by death.
Bay, baby.
This is punishable by death. What these governors are doing is a crime in our country.
Punishable by death and illegal to the legal courts, like Nuremberg style.
So, I mean, I think that he could be doing things right now that he's not. And that's the part for me that I have a problem with.
Yeah, and it's
even still, I feel like he's the best option to keep us stayed a little bit further away from our enslavement. And the whole point being so that we have a chance to move the fuck out of Oregon if we want to. We want to get with a community of people We've got, someone that's, a mechanic, someone that maybe can cut hair. What was Sean saying? Someone that's maybe a vet, someone that's a holistic doctor, someone that knows something about gardening, someone that, we need each other to make this happen. And the hope is with Trump in office that we have a little bit of time to try to do that, because if he's not in office, we 100% know for sure there is
they
no
say
time.
day one, Biden comes in, it's going to be permanent lockdown, mandatory vaccination. Dude, it's game over.
You already know. And I think that they're going to lock down borders. So if you want to be moving once Biden's in and you think you're going to go somewhere else to get out of these big cities so they don't come for you, it's going to be too late. And that's been a huge concern of all of ours.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to, before we, I still want to get back to some of this frauds. I feel like
fraud.
there's still more things to discuss.
Yes.
There's the other one. We got the watermarks.
Yeah.
The watermarks now I'm a little confused on that one specifically because the image I've seen on that one is always from California, and I don't think like there's a chance that we actually won California because California's corrupt.
I think there's a chance we won Oregon.
So here,
I think we did, and I think that we also won recalling Brown.
Yeah.
That losing by 3,000 votes.
No
Well, if we saw what they just did with president's election, you got to know that bitch Brown for sure corrupted that. Who was counting those fucking ballots? Give me a break.
Yeah.
Because even people who voted for her originally did not like what was going on. They don't want their businesses shut down. They don't want their kids psychologically damaged. Yeah. They were voting to recall her. We had the numbers.
Absolutely.
That was defrauded.
Hundreds of thousands,
that was
dude.
defrauded 1,010%.
Yeah. So, as far as the watermarks, like I listened to that a lot. Like Dr. Steve Pachenik broke that on InfoWars, actually, right, on Owen Shore's show, our buddy Owen's show, it caused just like a massive ripple. And one of the cool things that Owen was pointing out is like, InfoWars, like it's the most banned thing ever, like, you know what I mean? But within minutes of him talking about that, it was all over everything. So that shows you how much of, that shows in the ether, right? And how many people are kind of paying attention.
People want to hear.
Which is interesting. Yeah. Because that's
even if they don't, but even if, and I think a lot of people have been corrupted into thinking, oh, that's fake news. Oh, he's an extremist. Oh, he talks about all this crazy stuff. Yeah. Because these are people who've never actually heard him open his mouth and speak for any length of time. And they certainly never looked into any of these matters that he's looked into, because if they did, they would find themselves a fool.
Yeah. Well, Joe Rogan fact checked him the whole interview through, and it was all real.
It was all true. Yep, exactly. And so, that story broke, and there's a lot of people going back and forth, like the logistics of it. God, is this watermark thing for real? Like, were they just setting a freaking trap? Like, is this really what happened? Like, it would be great. A lot of people are saying, each of the states print their own individual ballots. And what I just heard as of today is that, like, what it was is the paper itself comes from a specific manufacturer, and that was the watermarks were inserted before they even got to the states to have the individual state ballots printed, supposedly. I don't know.
I mean, if that's real, I
catch him in a freaking sting.
If that's real, I think that we did win just by
well, we could see we won on election night.
Looking at what we saw on election night and the flips, like I would, and granted,
98% of all counties counted, 100,000 votes come in overnight, all for Biden, not one for Trump. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
perfect. Of course, that makes perfect sense. Yep. And by the way, we should just accept it, because for the last 4 years, they accepted. Trump in office. They completely were fine with those election results, right? They didn't dispute that at all. So we should all just shut our mouths.
So here's another aspect of this that I heard is that so Biden's already putting together his COVID response team, right? They're already putting together he's put his team together. It's been put together, right? And they're coming out with these mandates, and they're saying that these are what we need
Imagine
to do.
the balls. He's not even the fucking president.
Yeah, and he's already putting together these mandates, saying like, okay, we need to have a.
But the media proclaimed him.
Yeah, exactly. nationwide mask policy, all this stuff, and they're saying that Trump needs to adopt these measures right now, right? So that's what they're telling. That's
what universe is that ever made
exactly.
any sense?
Does the unelected, not confirmed, not even incumbent president tell the standing president?
Would have Obama listened to Trump?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing too: is that like the word on the street is that as soon as Trump leaves office and Biden takes over, if that happens to play out that way, they're going to try and charge Trump with first-degree murder for every single person that died of COVID-19.
They can't.
Okay, and they're going to bring him up, and so they're saying that if a Biden win looks imminent, that Trump should step down as president, Pence would become president, and then he could preemptively pardon Trump for those crimes that they're.
You can't preemptively pardon someone when they haven't been charged.
I don't know what it is. It's like that's the word on the street. I don't know how that exactly works out, but it's like that's how scary it is. Like what the hell, dude? That's how diabolical, dude. So I would say too, as we move forward with this.
So these same people are the ones that are coming for the ones that voted for them.
Yeah,
if that's what they would listen, you're watching their character. That's the thing. People are watching the character and what they're capable of.
And what I'm saying is just on their character. Like, and I'm sorry I did interrupt there.
No, I interrupted you.
You're right there. But it's like, be on high alert, folks. Be vigilant, because like if it looks like Trump may actually pull it off, man, then that's when it's gonna get real ugly. It's gonna be,
be sure you can
false
protect
flag
yourself.
Season,
Make
false
sure
flag
you got some
season.
food at
Like
home.
there's gonna be some like 9/11 style like false flag events like going on. Just be very, very careful and cautious.
Plywood to
wary,
board up
and-
windows from within.
Yeah, because that's what they'll like. They can't afford to have him in office for another 4 years, and they will just they'll it's mutually assured destruction. They'll take down the whole.
Well,
house of
Antifa has
cards.
already said either which way that they want to burn the country down. I just was it 2 or 3 days ago, and I think I sent it to our group thing. But this everybody should be prepared to fight to keep what it is they find precious.
Yep, absolutely.
So back to election fraud. Another thing I heard, you guys.
Yeah.
So Sidney Powell, have you listened to her talk at all?
I've heard her,
a
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
she was.
yeah.
I think No Agenda guys played
Yep.
her a bit, and so she was saying that there's essentially I forget the names of it. There's like software that apparently we have used
Hammer
like
and
on
scorecard.
Yep, hammer and scorecard, exactly, that we have used on like other countries to like to control the votes and like make the outcomes go the way we wanted. And there's evidence that's been used in our voting system. So there's and she is basically throwing her career on the line to push this forward. And so that'll be really interesting. I mean, if she's a lawyer and she's willing to like put it out there that like this has definitely happened and like put her career on, like that'll be something interesting to see as we go forward too. I mean, we already know Georgia's recounting. That there's been one state. I don't know if with how it's sitting right now. I don't know if one state flips it. I don't know how many. I forget. I honestly. And here's the thing: is like I want to kind of go over all these things because I think it's. I want to be aware of it all, but there has been, and we talk a little bit more about this our Sunday episode coming up. But there has been a positive thing out of all of this. Is I think we all. We became dependent on this win to slow down the roll. We didn't even think that it wasn't like the agenda was going to stop if Trump was in.
Right.
We're just like the agenda is going to be slowed down because he's not going to let him do this, and this right now.
Right, that's it.
Right?
You're dead on.
And when we saw all this funny shit that we kind of all predicted anyways.
Yes.
We kind of always like.
Well, 'cause they told us about it. They've been telling us about
It's
it.
going to be a giant mess.
Yeah.
It's going to be a garbage fire, right? So, and it is, of course.
Garbage fire. It is.
So here we are, and
Garbage fire.
But we are in the midst of it, and we're going
Episode
like,
title.
you know what?
You know it.
No one's gonna save us, and we've known that. All of
Yes.
our, and me and Scott talk about this, like in our podcast world. All these people that we respect and we really look up to have like said, don't ever trust that Trump is going to save you or anyone's going to save you.
Yes, all the people I look
Yeah.
up to, dude. Charlie Robinson, Whitney Webb, freaking. Oh God, I'm blanking. on
James Corbett.
dude. Like all of them, they're like, dude, don't fall for it.
Yeah.
Darren Grimerica, dude, he was just really honed it in last
Totally.
week, man. It's just like, oh man, yes,
Billy Ray.
don't fall for it, Billy Ray. Yeah, don't fall for it, guys. Oh my God. So anyway, I don't know, but at the same time, dude, like maybe this is the. I'm still on that part where it's like, God, maybe I think it really actually does matter.
Well, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
Wait. What do you mean? What are you saying?
But it was like so all the people that I trust, like I absolutely implicitly trust their viewpoint, their opinion, and because it's so well researched and vetted.
Right.
And they're all telling me, dude, it doesn't even matter. It's all theater. It's all a show. And I'm like, yeah, it totally is. And then I'm like, yeah, but it still really matters.
Yeah,
Well,
it really does.
I think we're all together on this.
Yeah.
I think
So
we're all
hard.
kind of in the
Yeah.
same place.
Totally.
Like that's
Totally.
reality. I would think anyone, I mean, not anyone, but I guess it seems to me like how can you not like have a little faith that like that
we have to have hope somewhere because without hope the psyop is complete.
Yeah.
And that is true.
And
that is one of the things they have done, and they've done it to me quite a bit. Is like robbing the hope and robbing the chance that like I'm like, well, what as a like I'm a woman that lives with my little kids, somewhere in the middle of Eugene, and like what chance do I have against all this, right? Like so the hope gets snapped away the more I see all this diabolical
We got us a
agenda.
soapbox.
Yeah.
But it's true. We do there needs to be that hope there.
Yep.
Without the hope, then
We
they
have
have and that the psyop is one for them, because without hope, then we do give in to the demands. We do give in to all of the things that they are pushing on us to acquiesce to.
Yeah.
And I will say there is a piece that I think that is not accounted for that I just kind of came into my head is just, there is a lot of people that are on the right that believe in this hope, right? So
Right.
if we do get a Trump, like we're kind of united with these people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, if we don't get a Trump, I feel like we're a little bit more on our own fighting. You know, we kind of.
It's going to be harder to unite with one another if they put if we have a Biden come in and
big
put,
tech will
and
have full reign of censorship, dude. Game over.
They
dude.
will, and I keep saying this, and this is what we've been saying for months. We were talking about doing the roundtable and all of these things. Is that I'm afraid they're going to lock borders down, and they're not going to let you travel. So wherever your kids are in the nation, wherever your parents are, whoever you need to be close to, these are things that I feel very strongly you need to be considering. Where do you want to be when the shit hits the fan? Because the shit has been thrown. The fan is right there.
It's flying through the air.
Trump is standing there with like a colander,
platter.
like he said, it's a colander, right? He said some of it's gonna get through, but like
the shit has been thrown. The fan is over on the ground.
but where do you? But who
The
who
visuals.
Yeah,
who
that's
do you need to
hilarious.
protect when it comes down? And who's
I
going to
think
advocate
you're
for you?
absolutely right, and I feel the rhetoric of this week.
Yeah.
I mean, since the media proclaimed Biden. I keep saying
The
that
media owned by all
because
the people that Biden is buddies with. Oh,
And the
okay.
big pharma companies that fund 60% of all these big media
the,
companies.
the proclamation, but with that has become the rhetoric has become you better just get ready for the lockdowns like we haven't seen, masking like we haven't seen,
Which we said at the beginning of lockdowns, we said it would get worse.
There was the Ticketmaster thing that just came out today. I mean, there's
Can't go to a concert.
So
unless you have the
who would
motherfucking
other
vaccine.
people out there love music and concerts? Because like I'm a total like hippie summer go to festival concert girl, and I am not gonna ever be able to do that again apparently. So that is
We start our own.
and I mean, what's that? We start our own.
Truthzilla Music Festival, baby.
Well, and that's just a thought too, just along these lines. Right now, is that if you're in a band, fuck Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Don't play for them. Say I don't want you. We'll get our own service. We're not gonna use that.
You hear that, boys?
And on another note, just another thing I've thought about that I've kind of forgot that I really wanted to throw out there on an episode, and here we go, is that there is that restaurant that's down in Southern California that has never locked down.
Do you remember what it's called?
They're an Italian restaurant. I don't remember, but
You mean
Dell
they've
had
been
one.
defying all the
They've
the order?
defied through the entire thing. They have a no mask policy. If you walk into the restaurant, they will tell you to take off your mask or leave.
And they haven't been shut down by
They
the
have
government
not been
down there?
shut down. And here's the thing is what happens is like, when this lady gets arrested in Walmart, is it's the businesses that are calling them trespassing. And that's why the police can actually arrest them, is because it's trespassing. So if you have a business and you're willing to stand up to this is what we need.
Yeah, it
and
is.
if you have a business and you want us to be promoted, we will talk about you every single episode. We will promote you. I promise you.
We will
and
drive
we
you
will try
traffic.
to get a network, because we need a
Yep.
network of people that are on our side that are going to say we will not have this. We need
go.
restaurants to go to.
Yes.
We
Okay.
need-
So
not
here we
just
go.
restaurants. Okay.
Here we go. Free plug. This is it from the Truthzilla trio here. This is Basilico's Pasta e Vino in Huntington Beach, California.
Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach has not shut down, and they have a no mask policy.
Yes.
Please give them your patronage, and yes, please support all businesses like that. And yes, exactly. If you guys have any businesses in your community, or if you are a business owner that is of this sentiment, let us know, and we will plug the shit out of you.
I
Anywhere in
really
the
want to
world.
plug the one business in Eugene that I go to several times a week, and they do not require that I wear a mask. They've never asked me.
Or maybe
about
they
it.
don't. Maybe they don't want us to.
But I don't want
Put
to
'em on
do that
blast.
because it's our
Yeah, yeah.
hometown, and I do not want any
I don't
state
wanna target them.
officials
Yeah, I don't
fucking
wanna-
with
yeah.
them.
So
But
if you want us to, let us know.
But
But it is going to take for us to overturn these things, for people to, and maybe they don't want to be, but if you do want to be, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee this restaurant has been booming. They are always busy.
yeah.
And if you have a business and are willing to stand up, and granted,
Hey, that's the way to make a lot of money right now. Is how like you always have to do the trend. You have to get ahead of the trend. So now that we've regressed
Yeah.
in our society, what we need is to have, like you're saying, like Truthzilla Freedom Concert. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
But if people would put on their own things, everyone's just afraid.
Yeah.
Everyone's afraid of being drug out of Walmart, drug out of their homes. They're seeing what's happening to people in
not that bad.
Australia. They're
These
seeing
little-
New Zealand, and it feels very, very close
It's scary,
to home.
yeah. It's not that bad. Like you get some little incel walking up to you and they'll be like, "Excuse me, sir, you need to put your mask on." And I'll be like, "Oh, okay." Or what I do is I wear headphones, dude. I wear big old headphones.
I can't
And then
believe
when-
you got
and
away
then-
with
And then
that.
when they come up and talk to me, I just act like I don't even hear them.
That was hilarious. You were like, they were like angrily following you through the store.
Yeah.
I'm like, you mean like, and that's what I said. I'm like, you mean like eventually they just quit following
Yeah,
you with
eventually
pissed
they
off
quit
faces?
following me. Yeah,
Because I was
yeah.
thinking they'd walk and be like, "Sir," like poking his shoulder, but he said they didn't do that.
No, you just put on your
How do you
headphones.
guys get away from? I was in Winco the
Literally
other day.
just
I
pretend like-
hate Winco. I was in the other day, and two people were in. They had their masks on their ears, and they were down underneath their chin, and they were like, and I was wearing an Infowars mask.
Good.
And then we were like, the two of them and I, we locked eyes, and I was like, eh?
Yeah.
And they were like, kind of like smiling,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, are we? Do
Yeah.
we know each other? Are we all similar?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
anyways, but I did. I took my 14-year-old with me into the store. And at some point, she pulled her mask down while she was helping me bag groceries. She pulled her mask down under her nose. And I fucking hated myself for saying it, but I literally looked at her and I said, pull your mask up over your nose. And the reason is, and I said this to her out loud, I said, because if anybody walks up to you and tells you what to do with that mask, I'm going to get arrested in this store.
Oh wow! What?
I am going to get arrested.
Okay, maybe.
There's going to be a
Maybe.
huge problem if
Or maybe-
if anybody approaches my child or me and tells me what to do
Oh,
with
you
my
said that to your child. I thought you said it to a checker or something.
No. I'm
Oh.
saying no to
your child,
my
dude.
daughter had her mask down.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And she
I would
was,
go to
and
jail,
she,
yeah.
and because she's like a little firecracker. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing it. I know how we feel about this. And
Yeah, yeah.
she was doing her little. This was the child by the.
She's
by the
like-
way, this is the.
She's like, you mean I won't have to write 1,000?
I was saying this is the child that put a mask on to go for a bike ride. Right. Okay. So, but still, I appreciate the tenacity.
Yeah.
But that was, and I was so mad at myself. I'm thinking I shouldn't even be having. I'm the weapon against my kid. Like I just told her to mask up. Because I'm trying to like make sure my kids don't get taken out of the store by police because I'm in the back of a cop car.
Yeah.
Because if anybody comes against my kids, and we all know how I feel about this, I've
Oh, yeah.
slung out a big five. Don't.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. It's not going to go well.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just think it's funny, like just in terms of kids, like my kids all know like coronavirus is stupid and masks are stupid. I can just see them around the people when I'm not around. Like coronavirus is stupid, masks are stupid.
yes.
They're gonna be the warriors, dude.
Totally, they're gonna have to.
I
be.
love it.
Yep.
I love that. That's so.
We're laying the groundwork
Yeah,
for them
for
to
sure.
to take this all back. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. We're
Well,
gonna take it back, baby.
so you heard it here first, guys. Coronavirus has been debunked. The PCR is a big scam,
Yeah.
and Trump did win the election, but there's a bunch of fraudulent crap.
Yeah.
and hopefully he's on our side, and that'll help us.
But we for sure know that
buy us
Biden's
some
not.
time.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll buy us some time, but really that's all that it possibly could do because we are going to have to be the change.
Yep.
There is no one is going to save
Yeah,
us.
and
no
speaking
one
of
will
that,
save
speaking
us.
of that, I just wanted to plug too, like freedomcells.org. Guys, go investigate freedomcells.org. If you're local to Eugene or Oregon area, I personally started a group called Willamette Central Valley, I think it's called. Anyway, like
So
come
you
find
hook up with
there.
us, yes.
And what we do is we do little meetups. Apparently, there's a meetup up in Portland every other Friday. I'm gonna think about maybe going and checking that out myself. Just going up there and just saying, "What's up, guys?" You know what I mean? And so, anyway, freedomcells.org. Check it out. Seems to be, where all the cool kids are. So anyway.
Very, very good. And if anybody is listening to this podcast and you haven't seen Plandemic 2 yet,
Or pandemic indoctrination.
is that what it is? Plandemic
Yep,
indoctrination.
yep.
I keep saying too.
Plandemicseries.org.
Okay, so please do that and share it with everybody. I've watched it with my kids twice now. In fact, this morning we started our day with David Icke from August 29th again.
Yeah.
I'm all cozy in my covers and our little sleepy face kids coming in. My one kid is still sucks his thumb with his little rabbit, and they all come in with their blankets curled up on mom's bed. And I said, "All right, guys, you want to start the day pretty good today? What should we do?"
Start
yeah,
with
and they were
freedom.
like, well, can we watch something? Oh, no. I got something for you.
Start with some freedom.
So then we had, all sleepy-eyed, all of us all curled up on top of my bed this morning. We had David Icke at full voice doing the whole spiel, the whole freedoms.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's from August 29th. If you haven't seen it,
It's on Band.video.
Band.video from August 29th. He's in the UK, and the part I lay there with my kids, and he starts screaming like, let our kids be psychologically, whatever, dismantled. No. And then he starts
Yeah.
screaming freedom, and tears start rolling
Yeah.
every time. And my 8-year-old's like, are you okay, Mom? I'm
You're
like,
a good
I'm
mom.
fine, honey. We're hanging on to freedom.
If you're playing David Icke speeches for your kids in bed in the morning, you're a good mom.
Good mom.
That's
yes. Yes.
That's how you
the
gotta
truth.
do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
So, anyways, well, you guys, it's so awesome. I'm really appreciative of this platform that we have. I love the both of you very much. So
Love you
thankful
too.
for
Love you
what
too.
we're able to do here.
Love
and,
all you guys out there too, man.
Yeah.
We really
God.
appreciate all of you. Thank you for taking the time to sit with us, opening your minds, opening your hearts. Thank you for sharing our content. On that note,
Yeah.
please do remember to like, share, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, on Apple, give us some 5-star reviews so we can move up in the rankings and offset the 3 stars. I didn't say any dude once in this episode, so there you go.
And a reminder.
I still love you.
also-
Whoever made that comment, I still love you.
Okay, by the way, I said really horrible things about you in our group
No,
chat, but he's more forgiving than I am.
But we didn't. And actually, there was a really positive review. He was just giving us some.
And I'm pretty sure I'm the dude guy.
No, well, but that's the thing. It's like he was just giving some constructive criticism, and I think that's awesome. We have to be open.
Okay,
for
you're my
constructive
people,
criticism.
and I don't allow
And
anyone to
although
talk that
the
way
3
about
stars,
us.
The 3 stars.
So-
that we need people to give us 5 stars, positive reviews to offset.
And if
that
you
3
could, at the
stars.
end of your
Yeah.
review, say #dude, we would certainly appreciate you.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Then
We would
know.
love
Then
that.
we know. Yeah.
And we'll give you a shout out if we
Yeah.
know about
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
anyways.
And lastly, one more time, I just want to say, if you got a
Truthzilla.com.
business that's willing to stand up against this, we will plug you.
Yeah, and we
Please
also started a
contact
website.
us.
How did I forget? We started a website.
I was just about to say that.
Truthzilla.org.
Truthzilla.org, guys. Find us. We're
Truthzilla.org.
building that.
Truthzilla.org.
It's being worked on. It's
Yeah.
looking really, really great, and it's just going to get better and better. So please find us at truthzilla.org, particularly if you're listening to this or you are trying to watch us and we are gone from YouTube or Facebook. We all know what happened,
Yeah.
and find us there.
Yep.
So in the meantime, I am Megan, sitting here with Scott and Ed. We wish all of you a wonderful evening and intellectual prosperity. Good night.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.